Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the return episode of Career Retrospective. I know it's been a little bit of time since I've been around here. I've been dealing with some family stuff, so I appreciate everybody being so understanding and patient of me. Thank you to Shadow so much for keeping things under wraps while I was gone and helping me out. I know he hosted a couple episodes for me, so a big appreciation to that man. He's somewhere in the comments, I'm sure. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, our first episode back, brought to you by Off the Top Media and Rivet City Radio. The phenomenal AJ Styles. I'm honestly surprised we haven't tackled AJ Styles yet, given the amount that man has accomplished in this business. As always, with me, we got Scalz over to my left. I think he's on my left. Is that where you are on the stream? Are you on my left?
I am on your left. Yes, you are correct.
Scalz is the man behind the scenes that pretty much runs this whole operation, gets it going, helps put everything together. He's joining us tonight. As always, also, we got the Alpha Wolf, Sean. All right. And returning, representing Northland Wrestling out of North Bay, Ontario, Canada, we got Rusty Blackwell.
Hey, happy to be back. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And also from Northland Wrestling, this is my first time meeting Josh, but Josh Bain.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Guys, Rusty, tell us a little bit about yourself real quick. I know it's been a minute.
So I'm Rusty Blackwell, the Backwoods Butcher. I've been wrestling for a few years now, and if you can believe it, I do my best to be a champion of the average person, and work with my best friend Tommy McLeod, who's my tag team partner, who, if you can believe it, took the belt off of this guy right here below me. It was fantastic. Yeah, so we'll start it off that way. Yeah.
All right. Josh, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Josh Bain. I'm the main man. And, Rusty's got it right. Tommy McLeod did take the True Patriot Championship from me, but I plan on just absolutely embarrassing Tommy McLeod and taking it back. I'm the most fightingest champion in the history of Northland Wrestling and the longest reigning True Patriot champion of all time. I've got career wins over guys like Trent Seven, and I'm going to get another one over Tommy McLeod, and there's nothing else we can do about it.
Oh, my God.
You say Trent Seven?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Heck yeah, man. Josh, I know Rusty's been wrestling for about 200 years. How about you?
Rusty's been wrestling for 200 years. I've been wrestling just a little bit shorter than that. No, me and Rusty actually started training at the exact same time.
Okay.
Under Dan Jarris with Energy Y Pro Wrestling Academy. We started training together. We came in as friends, but then we had to get in the ring together, and now we don't even like each other anymore. This is the first time we've ever looked at each other without going to blows, probably in 6 or 7 months.
Oh man, I know we could separate these two if we have to, right? Luckily there is no way for them to get to each other through here, but I don't know. He might know where you live, Rusty. I'm not sure.
He does actually know where I live. He's been to my house before everything went wrong. He was
sending all the chain letters to his house.
When we started training, Josh was the star pupil of the training academy, and he ruined everything by just turning sour as my daddy's lips. One of the things that I think about when I'm thinking of it, when I'm listening to talk, is how angry I'm getting, and I'm trying to think of how I'm going to keep it together. But I'm almost like maybe I'll just say whatever I need to say to you as a wrestler, Bain. I'll try to save until we can get through all of this. That way we don't argue too much while we're on the show.
That's fair. I think it's a good idea to try and keep civil tonight.
This song's done by a Christian hip hop artist.
That doesn't surprise me. Like, not even a little bit. Anyways, what we can do now, this is where we kind of dip into the roundtable discussion. And I know AJ Styles has had such a long, prolific, legendary kind of career that we could talk for hours and hours. I could go on for days and days about what he's done. So we're going to kind of focus on the things that we personally enjoy about AJ Styles and how we rate him ourselves, if that makes sense. So we'll actually just kind of go around the horn here. We'll keep it keep it in order. The next part of this is we're going to take each aspect of his performance and we're going to rate it with our own opinions on a scale of 1 to 10. Pretty simple, right? So we'll actually, he's allergic to penicillin. Well, that sucks. That would be awful. That is like one of the worst things to be allergic to. Anyways, so we'll start with the most obvious one. I think that a lot of us are going to be pretty agreeant on, and I think that's his in-ring work. Rusty, we're going to start with you.
Oh wow. And I'm supposed to. This is like a rating of 10, right? That's what we're doing.
Yes, sir.
That's so. So I mean, I'm gonna say like 9.5. I'm gonna be really high, and the reason for that is that he does all these things that I can never do. He's a high flyer. He is extremely tactically sound, and I'm not going full on because I'm comparing to a couple of the people in my mind. That I'm just like I'll just leave it to like these ideas of what I think is the best, and yeah, he's really amazing. Some of the off the top rope work he's done is like a little too terrifying to witness, and he reminds me of my tag team partner Tommy McLeod in how much he throws himself into it. Plus, I can't help but feel that way when you watch him tagging with Omos and riding around on his shoulders, which Tommy does with me. So that's like, take that how you want, right? But
basically, what you're telling me is, are you comparing yourself and Tommy McLeod to the Nigerian giant Omos and the phenomenal AJ Styles?
I definitely aspire towards these things. Sure. Yes.
I love that. Absolutely. For a second, I thought you were Omos. You look exactly alike.
Yeah, not at all. But I mean, to do big man moves in like the biggest wrestling promotion in the world, like, yeah, I'll aspire towards it. Yeah, 100%.
It's funny that you say that. Real quick, one of my favorite parts about pro wrestling. I'm not a big guy. I'm a smaller guy, like, 5'11", 180. I'm not a big guy. I'm about Shawn Michaels size, Having a big man do moves on you is so much damn fun. It is so fun. I don't know why. I love bumping. I love selling. I love bouncing around the ring like I'm just absolutely getting destroyed. It is so much fun to me. But anyways, Josh, we'll slide over to you.
All right. So out of 10, I'm going to say right now, I don't believe that you can't give a 10, right? Because there's no one out there who's perfect, and no one's perfect. Okay. However, I'd say, Rusty says AJ Styles is 9.5. I think the thing that gets me about AJ Styles, like when I was younger, I tuned into TNA, and 3 guys caught my eye. Right, and they were pretty much the thing that kept making me come back to that show, which was AJ Styles, it was Christopher Daniels, it was Samoa Joe, and I couldn't get enough of those 3 guys. And in a lot of ways, Joe and Daniels were on opposite ends of the spectrum, but AJ was able to adapt and kind of bridge that gap between those 2 guys, And it was interesting watching like AJ doing what he was doing back then, and he could do all this crazy stuff. But where AJ's evolved to now, so late into his career, is pretty wild. The thing that he's really figured out is when to do all that stuff. It's not what he can do; it's when he decides to do it.
Absolutely.
And he's only become more impressive with age.
So
I'm going to go ahead and I think the highest I can give anybody is a 9.5. So I'm going to give AJ Styles a 9 because I'm a heel.
Oh. Ooh, we're gonna have to look into that one a little bit
I'm
more.
just angling for a match with him, guys.
Oh God, Sean, we're gonna throw it over to you. What do you think?
I'm gonna have to be biased because I'm one of the biggest AJ Styles marks out there. When I was in middle school, I was in a random hotel on a trip or seeing my family or something. I can't remember, but I turned to this channel and I see people like Rhino, Raven. I'm like, oh, all these guys that I used to watch, I never knew what happened to after they left WWE. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, so it was TNA on like FSN back in the day, but all those like legendary superstars from WWE. Obviously, I was excited to see him, but there's one man that caught my eye. It was a blue-eyed Southern ass kicker by the name of AJ Styles, and he just won me over with his matches with Triple X and just the X Division in general when he was first in the X Division. His matches with Christopher Daniels, Elix Skipper, that fucking cage spot they both did. It just blew my mind, and I was a fan of AJ Styles ever since. He was my favorite of all time outside of WWE. And then like he did a meet and greet like a couple years ago at a Cricket Wireless, and I met him, and it took 16 years in the making to meet AJ Styles. He's just an amazing man. So for me to be biased, his in-ring work is got for me as a 10. He's an all-arounder, technical, high flyer. Anything you can do, anything he can do, you name it. He adapts with every fucking match, no matter who his opponent is, and that's just why AJ Styles is, other than like Chris Jericho, is my go. You know, so.
Fair enough. We got our first 10 in here. All right. Scalz, we'll slide it over to you, man.
Based off of everything that he's done, because he could pretty much do anything going back and forth. He could be in a cruiserweight match. He could be in the heavyweight match, tag, anything, Royal Rumble, multi-mans. It was always an amazement to watch him throughout his entire career, because when I used to watch TNA was when he was doing everything. He had the longer hair, and then he went away. And then he came back. He had the short hair. His whole attitude changed. And just the way that he was and everything that he did after that just had me amazed about his career. I don't like giving 10s on certain things. So I'm going to stick with a 9 for this one. Because while he is great, he still does have a little bit of deficiencies as he's gotten older in his career. So if we were doing this a few years ago, he probably would have been a 9.5 in my book.
That's fair. That's fair. There's only been one person that I've ever given a 10 to in in-ring work, and that's Shawn Michaels. I think Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles are extremely similar. As
because you simp for him.
Absolutely, I will. 100%. I have both of that man's books. That man is my idol. All right. Anyways, I have his legacy title. Okay. AJ Styles can work a match with anybody, just like Shawn Michaels could, just like guys like Daniel Bryan can. But like, I'm going to kind of call back to what Josh was saying. It's not just that he can do these incredible things. He just knows the right time to do them. And he knows when to try and innovate and make something different. Like the amount of like offensive maneuvers that are not necessarily credited to him, but he either made better or perfected. The list is long. I suggest you guys look. There's a lot. I think he is the greatest pure in-ring performer that's active right now. And I give him a 9.5 for that. I can't do it a 10. I can't. But we did get 110. That's pretty interesting.
I'm biased. I'm sorry. He's my favorite.
That's all right. No, this is why we're here. It's all opinion based.
Hey, I was the same way with Sting, so it's all right.
Dude, 10.
Pretty much. He could do no wrong.
So the next portion of his game, I think this is where we're gonna tear into AJ Styles a little bit. We're gonna talk about his promo work. I think a lot of us, we might have some similar ideas about this, but I'll slide it right over to Rusty to kick this one off.
Sure. So I mean, I don't think he does bad promo work. I mean, not all of it's great. I'm gonna say like 6.8. So like good, but not great. And I mean, part of this, and I think I've heard this from a few of you in the way that he he does things is this idea of like I see AJ Styles as being the glue that holds a lot of things together. And
Right.
you can call that whatever you want, but it's like I feel like that is someone who's like a real hard worker who puts in the time, goes between things, listens to what everyone in creative says, listens to what everybody is looking for, and then fills a gap. I don't know how many times WWE has dropped title belts at house shows to people like non-televised shows, but I think that was one of the times that AJ Styles took a belt, and when I hear that, I'm like, something needed to happen to get to somewhere else later that was not planned. When I hear that kind of behavior, that's very, to me, like that's like someone is willing to go out there and do what is needed to help things move along. So there's a part of me that goes, the ego of letting somebody really be present and go full on into things, it takes hold of people, and they focus with what they're doing, and it's a very self-serving thing. And I feel like AJ Styles might actually think more about what everybody else needs than themselves, and I think that could affect their promo work. So that's me, but I'll let everybody else rip into it. I had to go first, so I'll be soft-spoken about it.
That's fair. That's fair. Josh, we'll pop it over to you.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think when I'm going to talk about AJ's promo skills, I'm also going to talk about the way he applies emotion and stuff in the ring, right? Because I think that all kind of comes from the same place, that a great performer, you can be the best pro wrestler in the world, but if you're not a great performer, or if you can't talk, it's going to be hard for people to invest in you. And AJ was so good for so long, at such a high level, that people invested in him as he was still figuring out how to do that other thing, right? So he's worked his way into being a much better promo than he was 15 years ago. He's a much better promo than he was even 5 years ago. At this point, I'd say that he's passable. Dare I say he's good. He's had promos that are great. But to level him out, I'd say AJ, he's a 7. And what he lacks on the mic, he more than makes up for at this point in that emotional resonance when he's in the ring.
Okay, absolutely. Sean, what do you got for us, big man?
I think when it comes to his promo work, I'm gonna give him like 7.5 to 8. Like, his promos have definitely like gotten so much better in the WWE realm, as opposed to like his work in TNA, New Japan, because I feel like WWE is such a well-oiled machine with that. So, like, obviously, I wasn't really watching in TNA and New Japan for his promos. I was watching because he's the great athletic wrestler that he is. But yeah, for me, it only grew better when he joined WWE and he was up against talents like talkers like Cena and Seth and all these people that can talk on the mic. So he had to adapt like he always does. So for me, his rating grew to, I'll give him a 7.5 in that aspect.
I just gotta point out really quickly. I just gotta say, that guy Shadow, in the chat, smartest man in the chat, smartest man in the chat. You're right. The only 10 from pro wrestling is Sean Spears and Josh Bain. The only thing you got wrong in there is that you should just switch those names over. But thanks, Shadow. Good man.
Scalz, what about you, my man?
So, as his career has gotten longer, he has gotten better. So, like I said earlier, if we did this a little earlier, he probably would have been about a 5 for me in regards to his promo works. But because of WWE and how they structure everything with it, he's one of the people that benefits from having a guideline on what to do for promos. When he is told and had bullet points of what to talk about, he can do it with the best of them. So if he's just like, here, take a mic and go, he seems to stumble and is at a loss for words sometimes. It's also helped that he's been in great feuds with Samoa Joe in WWE, with John Cena. So he's had those feuds that helped him and forced him to be better on the mic. So overall, I'm going to give him a 7.5 on the mic.
All right, the AJ Styles stands are over here tonight. I think he benefited exponentially from the WWE style, as that seems to be the consensus among us too. Having like an outline, a guideline, something that's like, hey, this is the point you need to get to. Here's how you're going to get there. I think that's helped him a lot. He didn't blow me away at first, but the hashtag beat up John Cena that went on was so damn funny. And I don't know if anyone else could have made it funny without, AJ Styles and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows together. Those guys are always just fantastic together, even when they're being booked so poorly. I think he's good on the mic, a lot better than he used to be in his younger days in TNA. And even in New Japan, I think he's better than he was in New Japan. I think the WWE style helped him. But the early career was just bad. So I'm going to level it out at about a 6. And I feel like... with that being said, we got a little bit of hostility up in here. I think we need to get you guys out of here. Rusty, where can we find you at, my man?
If you can, Northland Wrestling is my home promotion. There's a big show that Bain was just talking about happening on March 23rd, and then leading up to that, I'll be doing 6 shows in 6 days with Canadian Wrestling Elite. I'll be working multiple matches, going against working with my best friend Tommy McLeod in some tag matches. Doing some singles matches where I'll be facing off against Sean Martins, who's another undesirable, we'll say, similar to this character right here. And then I get to wrestle on March 20th in Sturgeon Falls, Ontario, which is my home community where I live. And I am tagging with Salvio Vega against the Digglers, who are a couple of loudmouth rapscallions, and so that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, you can find me at CWE, or you can find me at Northland.
Did you say Savio Vega, like the Savio Vega?
That is correct. Yes, I'll be tagging with Savio Vega for a match. That'll be fun. And if you can wait until Bain gets to talk, because he'll tell you all about Salvio.
Hell yeah. All right. Mr. Bain, where can we find you?
You can find me at Bain.wrestling on Instagram. You can find me on the same tour. I'm going to be with CWE, but Savio Vega is not going to actually get the team with Rusty because he's got to go through Bain. I got him one-on-one, and Savio's not making it to your tag team match, Rusty. I'm sorry, buddy. And so Instagram, CWE, and then Northland Wrestling, where Daddy's home.
All right. Alpha Simp, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch, streaming before the lovely Off the Top Rivet City Radio shows go live on their respective channels, or after at the Alpha Wolf Sean B with streaming. Hopefully I can get 2K working, continue streaming that, or I stream Fortnite, whatever. You can find me on pretty much every social media. Instagram is Alpha Wolf Sean B 2.0. TikTok is the Alpha Wolf Sean B. And then you can find me Monday nights on Rivet City Radio after Monday Night Raw with the table spot. Or on here sometimes.
All right. Scalz, how about you?
You can find me here on Off the Top Media on both Twitch and YouTube, and then Off the Top Media _ on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. It was great to come back to do a career retrospective. Thank you, Nate, for allowing me to be on the show. Take us home.
All right. Again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for kind of being patient. I know there was a lot going on that I don't really, you guys know me. I don't disclose my public or my personal life in public. So, I mean, it was really, really difficult time there for a little bit. So I can't appreciate you guys enough for holding things down for me and the couple of episodes that Shadow hosted and did a fantastic job with. So I do want to say thank you for that. Moving forward, we're going to stick to this every 2 week schedule for Career Retrospective. I'm in this. I'm ready to go. My energy is up. I feel great. You can find me on TikTok at Nate McNamara WB. You can find me pretty much nowhere else because all my social media has been deactivated, and I don't really like social media that much. I like my TikTok family. I like my Twitch family. This is where I belong. This is what I love doing. It's a good outlet too. It's a good way to kind of get away from the rest of the world. So with that being said, who's winning the main event of WrestleMania this year? Is it Cody Rhodes or is it going to be the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns?
Holy crap! It's got to be Rhodes. I'm sorry.
Got to be Rhodes.
Roman Reigns has been running the show for too long. I'm done.
All right,
time to move on.
Josh, who's winning?
Well, I say it's got to be Rhodes, but I just like seeing people disappointed too much. So just because Rusty wants Rhodes to win, I'm just gonna say Roman Reigns.
Ooh.
Ooh, I was gonna say you can't possibly agree with Rusty on
I just
that.
want everyone disappointed. That's what I want.
Sean, who's winning?
Look, by no means am I a fan at all of Roman Reigns, but I want to see the Cody crybabies suffer again because I cried so much on social media for this match. I'm going Roman, defeat Hogan's streak, and then he can lose it.
Scalz?
I don't think they have Cody lose because that would really defeat the purpose of the Rumble, considering the winner would not have won 4 years in a row.
Yep.
What would be the point of winning the Rumble if everyone loses? So it has to be Cody.
I will say one thing. I think I want you guys to look at this from a different perspective. Cody Rhodes' fan base just exploding and going all over social media. I think it's been beneficial to WWE because I think it means The Rock actually sticks around longer. And that's just good for business. I think The Rock was going to come in, do this one-off match, and disappear. I think Cody Rhodes sticking around has extended that story now. The Rock gets to stay around longer. Everyone benefits. That being said, Cody Rhodes is winning at the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania. But yeah, all right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned to my TikTok and Off the Top Media TikTok. We will be announcing the next Career Retrospective 2 weeks from tonight. Just stay tuned. But everybody else, thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you next time.
Peace.